DecaMillionaire is how fast can I scale? How fast can I move? Instead of planning for $1 million in revenue, how do I actually plan for 10 million in revenue during the exact same time frame? And what separates DecaMillionaires from the average millionaire out there is simply a mindset of getting out of our own way. I had the privilege of interviewing literally hundreds of DecaMillionaires and those who coach DecaMillionaires on my podcast, DecaMillionaire Decoded. And we're writing about this in my newest book, The DecaMillionaire Way, and how any business owner can reach a $10 million net worth. And what it all boils down to this mindset, Jason, of
Fastlane Founders and Legacy with Jason Barnard. Each week, Jason sits down with successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, and executives and get them to share how they mastered the delicate balance between rapid growth and enduring success in the business world. How can we quickly build a profitable business that stands the test of time and becomes our legacy? A legacy we're proud of. Fastlane Founders and Legacy with Jason Barnard.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Fastlane Founders and Legacy with me, Jason Barnard. And a quick hello, and we're good to go. Welcome to the show, Justin Goodbread.
Hey, Jason, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. Today, we're going to be talking about the DecaMillionaire Doctrine. And if I understand correctly, a DecaMillionaire is 10 million.
That is absolutely correct. $10 million or more net worth is whenever you reach DecaMillionaire status. So 10 million to 99.999 million is DecaMillionaires.
Right. And how many of them are in the world? I actually talked to a friend of mine. He suggested that ChatGPT told him 33,000.
That's correct. It's less than 40,000 DecaMillionaires in the world at this particular point. Now, my job and what my goal is to radically change that, Jason, because I look at the DecaMillionaire as like the millionaire of the 1990s. You know, 1990 was a century ago, right? So here we are in the 2000s. We got to raise the bar. So $10 million is a new millionaire. That's where we're at and going forward.
Okay. So today you're going to make one more. So it'll be 33,001. And that's me in a few years' time. And hopefully other people watching it will make it 33,002, 33,003, and then we'll be up there. Before we get going with that, I mean, I'm really interested because it's all about mindset, and I'm really, really keen to understand and get to grips with that. Looking at your brand, sir, here we have the search for your name, Justin Goodbread knowledge panel. That's a beautiful Google knowledge panel. It's lovely. I see that underneath your name, it says you're an author, but in fact, you're a financial educator and a wealth manager. What would you classify yourself as?
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, I sold that business a few years back and took a little bit of a sabbatical. So now I am a keynote speaker and a coach, teaching business owners how to radically change their business. So where all that's coming from is when I had my company, Financially Simple, Heritage Investors and Heritage Business Owners, we made a huge mark in the industry. We took a business from startup to an 8-figure exit, $10 million plus exit in 49 months. And so after that exit, I stepped into a president role and said, hey, if I can do this in a small business and help literally hundreds of business owners rapidly scale their companies, can we do it in a mid-sized business? So for a period of 2 years, I served as a president of a company, took an 8-figure business to a 9-figure valuation in 18 months. Now what we talk about on the DecaMillionaire Doctrine. So in January of this year, we launched out our coaching program. And so now we're having a blast doing public speaking, writing books, and helping business owners.
Brilliant. And this is kind of the thing with Google is, especially when you've written a book, and Google Books is what we call a primary data source, a primary fact source, is it gets stuck in the past and it doesn't keep up with you. It thinks you're an author because you have this book, and it ends up with the overview of you, the description of you being stuck in that book. One of the disadvantages of writing a book is exactly that. It's difficult for you to then have your personal brand narrative on Google keep up with you. But then I looked in AI mode on Google, which is Google's AI summary of the results from its web index, which isn't actually a summary of the first page that we just saw. It's a summary of lots of snippets about you. This is much more accurate and up to date. And this is where we're going. AI mode, same thing as ChatGPT, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot. And this is the future of brand management. And at Kalicube, we're loving every minute of it because this is what we specialize in. So keeping your personal brand up to date in the old world of SEO, of search engines, was significantly more difficult than it is, luckily, now in AI assistive engines like AI mode. But back to the DecaMillionaire shift, which is your current focus, and your personal brand is all about that, which is why you're here. What is the mindset?
The mindset of a DecaMillionaire is exactly what you just alluded to. Is constantly changing and moving. And Wayne Gretzky was a famous hockey player for all times and said, always skate to where the puck is going. That's what led to his success. And the mindset of a DecaMillionaire is not living in the past. So I love the fact that you just illustrated Google and its ineptitude for so many of us who are actually working in the real space. And for those of us who are shifting real time, Google is like a dinosaur. And that's where many millionaires are, especially business owners. We work really hard about trying to reach a status. Maybe it's an income level. Maybe it's, hey, we want to reach $20,000 a month or $250,000 a year in income, or maybe we want to hit $1 million in top line revenue, whatever that data point is. So many business owners push toward that first book, like I did 5 years ago, or that second book, or now I'm writing my third and my fourth, which will be launching out here in the next 6 months. We'll change all that again. So many of us, we stay focused in the past or stay focused in very short-term wins. A DecaMillionaire is how fast can I scale? How fast can I move? Instead of planning for $1 million in revenue, how do I actually plan for 10 million in revenue during the exact same time frame? And what separates DecaMillionaires from the average millionaire out there is simply a mindset of getting out of our own way. I had the privilege of interviewing literally hundreds of DecaMillionaires and those who coach DecaMillionaires on my podcast, DecaMillionaire Decoded. And we're writing about this in my newest book, The DecaMillionaire Way, and how any business owner can reach a $10 million net worth. And what it all boils down to this mindset, Jason, of belief. Do we truly believe that there is a mission in front of us that we can achieve, whatever that may be, around a product or a service or a reputation or influence or impact, whatever the word is to whoever's listening to us, whatever that mission is, do we truly believe that we were created and uniquely equipped to accomplish that mission? And what I experienced for talking with DecaMillionaires and what I've discovered, even my own journey, is once my mind shifted to that little thing of, I believe that I can achieve this, whatever this is, then I'm going to have the tenacity and the wherewithal to face whatever the resistance is in front of me, whatever the pushback is from family, friends, the economy, the world leaders, whatever it is. We're going to face some resistance. And if I can push my way through that, I can accomplish my wildest dreams. And that single thing, Jason, changes what I see, the mindset of a DecaMillionaire from the average millionaire out there.
Well, yeah, I really like that. I mean, I'm not a DecaMillionaire, so I can't come on your podcast, but that exact mindset is what got me to create a musical career, a career as a professional musician. We supported Bob Dylan for one gig, which was one of the great moments of my life, because despite the naysayers, I knew we would make it. And then I created a cartoon with my ex-wife, and we had a TV series. We had 1 billion page views in 2007. And once again, despite the naysayers, despite the people saying, this isn't going to happen, you're not going to get there, there's so many characters out there. So I've got the mindset, but I just don't have the $10 million.
The $10 million follows at some point. See, I have this firm belief that all work works. There's nothing you can do today that's going to fail. Even if you do fail, it's preparing you for the next victory. I often say this. I firmly believe, and this is my personal belief, and I'm not trying to proselyte, but I believe that God has equipped each of us for what he's uniquely made us for. I believe with all my heart that everything we've gone through in our past, all the failures, all the hardship, the painful seasons of our life that every one of us deal with, the joys of our life. I remember holding each of my children for the first time in that big moment. I remember walking to meet my bride at the altar and just seeing those happy moments of our life. The time I caught that 10-pound largemouth bass. I mean, oh, what a day. These are many memories that each of us might have. Each of these things in our past are ultimately preparing us for our future. But here's what separates the millionaire from the DecaMillionaire. The DecaMillionaire understands a simple concept, and that is this. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. So the simpler we can get in our business, the faster it moves. So many of us, because we're very smart, especially as business owners, we're tenacious, we're smart, we know how to work hard. We get up in the morning and we grind. We're in this culture of grind these days. The difference between the millionaires, we look at ourselves and say, we can do this, and we can. The DecaMillionaire says, I can't do this. Even though they can, they say, I can't do this. How do I simplify this down? So the formula that we teach to all of our coaching that I write about in my books, I speak on stage, when I'm on podcasts, is around this one thing. Who are you best equipped to serve? Who is that one person That one person, if you had 15 or 20 of them in your life today, more than likely, if you had 15 or 20 of your top clients right now, it would probably 2x your revenue of your company, more than likely. Who
Yep.
is that one person? And how do we meet that one person where they're at? How do we design a process or a product that plants enough seeds in front of that one person that hits them where their pain is today and shows them that you have the solution to move them from their pain to the desired payoff? And if we can do that, Jason, over and over and over again through simplicity, and moving ourselves as a business owner out of the position, what we built is the golden goose, as the old adage says. We built a business that somebody else wants to buy from us.
And it's really interesting you should say that, because I've spent 10 years building Kalicube and Kalicube Pro, our platform that we use to manage brands. And my initial thought was, every brand needs us, every person needs us, I can serve the entire world. And it's taken me 10 years to get to the point that you've just described, which is an ambitious entrepreneur investing in their personal brand who wants to take control and amplify their voice in Google and AI. That's our perfect client. I get 200 of them. I've got DecaMillionaire status pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of our coaching clients, he's a financial advisor. And I love my analytical friends out there, because we often overthink things. And that's what he was doing. And we looked at him, we said, who are you best equipped to serve? And he said, man, I love working out. I said, you're cool. Why do you like working out? We broke it down, and he said, I have this friend of mine who owns a gym, a little small gym. He's doing about $35,000 a month in revenue. He probably should be about $60,000 a month. And he just started paying me, and we've already moved his business. I said, did you have fun? He goes, man, if I had 100 of those clients, I would be amazed. We totally repositioned his entire business to serve that particular niche, that one gym client who had $35,000 a month in revenue, who had this many members. I mean, we got super tight. We actually built him an avatar, which we have a primary, secondary, and tertiary avatars. We built him vision statement, values. We built him an entire process that speaks to that avatar. We retooled his team so that every employee on the team aligns with the syntaxes of that avatar. We did it in about 9 months. After that 9 months of totally retooling his business for one single purpose, his company has now tripled in value. It's tripled in revenue in 9 months' time. Why? Jason, I grew up in the South, down here in South Georgia. I live in East Tennessee, in the mountains over here in the U.S. And one of the things I love to do in my spare time is going to the hills. I love the mountains. I love God's creation. And my dad taught me this simple principle early in life, Jason, that you no doubt deal with, and all of us as business owners deal with. And that is, we find what we're looking for. So one day we were picking blackberries. We wanted to make a blackberry pie, and it was, I could taste it, Jason. It was so good on a hot summer day. And we were out picking blackberries. And I looked at my dad. I was about 12 years old. And I said, hey, Pops. We called him Pops. I said, hey, Pops, aren't you scared of rattlesnakes? Now, rattlesnakes is a very poisonous snake here in the United States. And he said, no, I'm not. I said, why not? He goes, because I'm not looking for them. So we never saw rattlesnakes. So here, fast forward some odd 25 years, and my young son and I are now picking blackberries. And he says, Dad, aren't you scared of rattlesnakes? I said, no, buddy, I'm not, because I'm not looking for them. He goes, let's find some. Like, you want to find some? He goes, yeah, let's find some. It took us 5 minutes. We found 5 rattlesnakes in 5 mints. What the reality of that story is for us as business owners is, whenever we look for success, when we look for that status, when we look for that next achievement, if we put all of our intentionality around one single mission, around one single client, around one single process or product or service or whatever your business offers, you put all that intensity behind that one thing, like a laser beam can cut steel versus a flashlight that just bounces off of things, you create that intensity that actually breaks through to your desired outcome. That's the fun part about being a DecaMillionaire, Jason.
Right. So, Justin, what I'm now just hearing is I'm still not focused enough.
But that's the problem that many business owners have. We are still broad. So I'll tell you a principle.
I mean, the idea of saying an entrepreneur who's investing in their personal brand is still really, really broad. If I said a DecaMillionaire who's investing in their personal brand, I'm already down to 33,000 people.
Well, even in my own life. So I've started and sold 7 companies. I literally teach thousands of business owners every year on how to rapidly scale their companies. And one of the principles I teach is something I learned at about the age of 16. My dad gave me, he owned a construction site. He gave me about a 16-pound sledgehammer. Now, if you never swung a sledgehammer, friends, you missed out on life. It is a great day. It's a lot of hard work. But he said, I want you to knock down this wall. He gave us a concrete wall that we were on a construction site. I want you to knock this down. This is your task for the day. So like an average 16-year-old, I grabbed that hammer and I began beating it all over the place. And he came after about an hour and I'm exhausted. Didn't make a dent in a couple of chips, but no process. He said, son, you're going about it wrong. I want you to take this sledgehammer and hit in this bottom right-hand side. I'm right-handed, so that's where I can get the most leverage. Hitting the bottom right-hand side on this one dot. He took a can of spray paint, he put it there. I put a little black dot on the wall. He said, hit that one spot over and over and over and over again. He goes, what'll happen is the wall will fall. The same, it actually did. It fell in about an hour's time because we busted the weakest area. So the same thing is true in us business owners. Well, think about, like, in our country, we have Dave Ramsey, who's talked about, getting out of debt. He's talks about debt for now 35 years on his 7 baby steps. You talk about Robert Kiyosaki, which is another financial mind out there that talks about rich dad, poor dad. He talks about, making money work for you. What we often see as business owners, we see somebody like in my world, like Gary Vaynerchuk, who talks about this, that, and the other. He talks about social media. He talks about one on the jets, and he talks about trading Pokemon cards, and he talks about going yard selling. That's not where these guys made their money. Oftentimes as an entrepreneur, we get so scattered in our message. Even we try to post out there on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitch and all these other things thinking that's going to work. And it often causes us to, like a 16-year-old with a sledgehammer, hit the wall all over the place. And we never create the penetration we need. When we get laser focused, like a laser beam, on that one person and that one problem and that one solution that you can help them with. And if you had 100 of these people, your life is set. When you get that focused, something changes. And here's what changes, Jason. 8.2 billion people in the world. Out of the 8.2 billion people in the world, I have to believe that there is 100 people who want what you already have. They want your solution. They just don't know you exist because you're scattering too many seeds in too many directions and you're not getting the harvest. So a DecaMillionaire mindset, and the way that DecaMillionaires reach that status, is they simplify to a laser beam focus, planting one seed and consistently over and over and over again. And just like whenever you're farming, or just like in anything hard, you're going to reap a harvest. As you plant those seeds, they will yield the outcome. And that's the difference between many business owners and the true DecaMillionaire out there.
Right. So we assuming I managed to actually now niche down even further than I currently am, and I thought I was doing a good job, apparently not. I mean, that's going to be my next thing. I actually had a conversation about that the other day, which is why I know there's 33,000 or less than 40,000 DecaMillionaires in the world. And that's an interesting point as well, is you notice things when you're paying attention, like the rattlesnakes.
Yep.
And this conversation that I'm having with you, in conjunction with the conversation I had with Bob Gentle, it's just because I'm paying attention. So I remember it. Which is great. It shows I'm on the right path. But actually, the next problem is, what about team culture, customer experience, and my own freedom? Now, what I find is I get bogged down in the day-to-day work, that we need to make sure the customers have a premium experience, and I need to make sure that the team are comfortable. And those three together are going to make things happen. I would get out of everybody's way, which would be a great thing, and they keep telling me to do it. What's the secret?
Yeah, so I like to walk our clients through an exercise. It's an exercise that aligns all three things. The exercise is this. And whenever I say this, I can already hear my business owners, brothers and sisters out there. Your hearts are fixing to fall. So let's go ahead and prepare for this, okay? Why don't you go ahead right now in the next year, go ahead and put on the calendar. You're going to take 4 weeks off consecutively and not look at your email, not look at your phone. Don't answer anything for 4 weeks if you have a team. Now, most of us say there's no way. There's no way this can happen. That's that limited mindset that a millionaire will have that a DecaMillionaire doesn't. So a DecaMillionaire says, okay, if I have 12 months, if I have 365 days to prepare for 4 weeks off, what do I need to do? Well, we better have the systems in place that the team can operate without them coming to me as the bottleneck. That's number one. Number two, is the team competent? Are they the right people on the right seats, using Jim Collins' old statement that he made in Good to Great? Are they the right team members, or do I need to make some changes? Okay, how much revenue do I need to have set aside in cash to weather the storm if there's a revenue dip during that 30-month period of time? See, or 30-day period of time. See, what happens is, as a DecaMillionaire, is if we place a big crazy goal out there, like I'm going to walk away for 30 days and my business is going to fall apart, we say, how do we do this? There's got to be a way. There's been people who are not as smart as me and people who are dumber than me that's accomplished the same thing. Why not me? So what do I have to backwards engineer today to start putting in place so I can take a month off? The difference between a DecaMillionaire is we put a goal out there like this and say, yes, we want to align team culture. We want to align our clients. We want to have a premium service because we want premium clients to pay us a premium price.
Yep.
We want all those things. So how do we align this? We put something out there as a carrot for us. Man, wouldn't it be nice to have 4 weeks in the Caribbean? Wouldn't it be amazing to spend 4 weeks and not think about your business for 4 weeks a year from now? The DecaMillionaire says, if I can accomplish this 4 weeks, then all these other things are going to follow to this one outcome. What a millionaire says is, oh, I got to go over here and work on team culture. Oh, I got to go over here and work on my client service. Oh, I got to do, and we focus at a granular level without tying it all together to an outcome that we truly desire. So if that in fact you want to have a positive team culture, if in fact you want to offer best in class experience, if in fact that you want to have time off, put the carrot out there that is so rewarding to you as the owner that you will put everything in front of you to charge through all the resistance you're going to face. Have somebody that knows the frameworks that you can follow, a good coach on your side that can walk you through that, and then charge hell with a water pistol. Don't stop. Go forward, because even if you can't take 4 weeks off, you might get 2. And isn't 2 better than none? See, that's the difference between what the average business owner who bumps against this $1 million ceiling and those of us who've learned how to step out of our own way, allow the sand to backfill into that crevice where we step out, and then to achieve the freedom that we truly desire. And the freedom comes from time and it comes from money. So that is the way a DecaMillionaire thinks versus a millionaire. It's pretty amazing.
Yep. No, I'm looking forward to my 4 weeks in the Caribbean next year. I'll probably only get 2, but there you go. And that is how you get a business not to collapse when you're not there. And I think as a business owner who's hitting that ceiling that you talk about, you're too nervous. And as you say, if you have the runway that allows it to not work 100% when you're taking 30 days off, you're okay. My worry would always be that the premium service we offer the entrepreneur clients we have isn't delivered to the level that I would hope. I think that's my biggest fear.
And I would rephrase that as a limiting belief. Okay, I would rephrase that as your limiting belief, because if you believe that, then you're looking for the rattlesnake and you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. On the opposite side, if you set that goal, whatever it is, let's use my 4 week in the Caribbean just for fun. Okay. If you set that as your goal, you're going to find that goal. And as you work toward that goal, you're going to backfill in all the problems, and your mindset shifts from focusing on that limited belief of, oh my goodness, I'm not able to provide that premium service to my premium client. And if I leave, it's going to decline. That's that belief that holds so many people at this sub level to where they don't ever achieve their aspirations. The delta, if you remember what I said we all have a vision in the future we want to achieve. Mine is freedom. Most of our entrepreneurs that we coach, they want freedom of time, freedom of stress, freedom of money, freedom of something. But ultimately, you're going to have to face the resistance. How do you get through that resistance that you just outlined, Jason? It comes down to, do you truly believe you can accomplish that, whatever that is for you? And if you don't, what we end up doing is we end up backwards qualifying and saying, well, we can never accomplish it because we got to make sure we offer a premium offer to our premium clients so they can have a premium referral rate, all these various premium things. Yes, all that's true. Set the goal out and then charge out with a water pistol with the belief that if we accomplish this, whatever this is, that 4 weeks in the Caribbean, then you just solved that limiting belief of the premium offer.
Yep. Now, in that case, last question then is, I've focused in on my absolute ideal client, really nailed it down. I've spent 9 months doing it. I've tripled my income, and I've built this system whereby I can walk away to the Caribbean for a month. I come back, the company hasn't collapsed. There's been a slight drop, but everything's fine and we can fix it and there's no big problems. How do I build my company then to last and to be able to run without me so I can spend all of my year in the Caribbean?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you this, and all the coaching clients, hundreds that we've coached through this process, we've never had a company even move backwards in declination. When the owner gets out of the way, the company advances. Even in my own life, whenever I built this with my coach's help, whenever my wife got sick during COVID, our company grew by 40% while I was at her bed for 8 weeks. That's the process. So here's the cool thing. Whenever you build what we're talking about, where you can take a month off, 6 months off. When I sold my last business that you read about in your Google Sheets, I was taking 4 months off a year, had a margin rate of 60% and increasing, and had income that was second to none in my industry, was best in class. What transpired around that is I had somebody from the outside who was watching it, and they said, "Hey, Goodbread, we see what you're doing. We want to pay you premium dollars for this machine that you created. Take these premium dollars." And whenever I now sit back, I now make more in a quarter than I was making in a year back there. And I could literally retire now if I wanted to. I don't. I want to help business owners accomplish the same thing. So what happens is when you do take that month off in the Caribbean and you go play and your business excels, you're going to come back and you're just going to increase the velocity. You're going to pour more clients through. You're going to pour more systems in. You're going to create the scale until you reach the valuation that you can really attain freedom. And now you're going to walk through the exit. What we call our fourth step in our process is relentless exit, which is now you're in a position where somebody wants to pay you a premium dollar for that company. And when you look at the proceeds, net of taxes, net of fees, net of all the other fun stuff you got to pay when you exit a company, that you're looking there and saying, okay, this now bank account offers me relentless freedom, my last step in the process, that you don't have to look back and worry about, well, this key client leaves, or the economy does this, or the politicians do X, Y, Z, or the tax law changes. You have this money over here, and you could literally spend your entire life in the Caribbean if you so desire. What I see, though, Jason, happens, and this is the tell of a true business owner, is you build it, you obtain that freedom, and you pause, take a little time to rest, and you look back and like, dude, if this country boy talking about Justin Goodbread, born and raised on a dirt road in South Georgia, lives on a gravel road in East Tennessee, if I can accomplish my wildest dreams in 49 months, Jason, you and everybody else can too. There's a simple framework that's proven. It's a simple process. Oftentimes, though, it's like we're traveling to a new destination. If we don't know the game, we don't know the road, if we don't know the landmarks, if we don't know how to interpret the moves on the way, then it gets confusing to us. So what happens that I see with business owners who reach that level of freedom is they turn around and they're like, man, let me go back and help my brothers and sisters who are struggling with the same crap I was struggling with. Let me show them how to get through that really fast so they can accomplish their goals. And that's what I see to be right now. This phase of my life is ultra rewarding. And I'm watching so many business owners who are rapidly scaling their companies to reach this relentless freedom landmark, our fifth step in our framework. Whenever they get to that point, it's like, I'm going to go help my brothers and sisters back. And it is so much fun, man. It's a blast.
Brilliant. Well, what I love about this conversation, and thank you so much, is that I set $15 million a year as our target revenue for 2030. 2030 is a little bit over 49 months away. So looks like by pure luck, instinct, I got it right. I got the right number for the right period of time. Now I have the plan. Thank you so much, Justin. That was delightful.
And what I would challenge you with is a free download that you obviously will have a link to that you can share with your audience, is we actually have a download you can walk through, and it's 6 questions every DecaMillionaire must be able to answer, but very few can. 6 questions. If you can answer these 6 questions, it'll let you know whether or not you're going to reach that outcome. So we'll make that available to your audience, Jason, for your audience to take a look at it. I'm sorry?
And to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you'll have the link. Everybody can walk through it and sign up there and walk through that questions. It may surprise you how simple the questions are, but how whenever you dive into the questions, it's like, I've never considered this. This is really the way a DecaMillionaire thinks. It is. It's pretty amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you, everyone, for watching. You get the outro song too. A quick goodbye to end the show. Thank you, Justin.
Your corporate and personal brands are what Google and AI say they are. We can give you back control. Kalicube.